Hey everyone. So this is the first time I'm going live, and this is just going to be an audio clip. I wanted to talk about my 5-week pregnancy update. I'm further along now, but I really want to make videos week by week because I documented everything and I hadn't gotten a chance to. So this will be my 5-week pregnancy update. So I started off week 5, obviously not knowing. Looking back, the only symptoms that I really had were I had to go pee a lot. And I really didn't think anything of it, but I definitely had an increase in having to go pee. So, like I said, didn't really think anything of it. And I didn't know how far along I would be when I took the test, and I'll actually link the video below. I took the test live on Facebook. I honestly thought it was going to be negative, and I was really, really shocked. That was on December 10th. I took the test, and I had no idea how far along I was. I took a test, and it was positive. I was completely shocked, but very happy. So anyways, let me do the dating here. 6/1/6/5/6. Okay, so when I took that test, I was 5 weeks and 5 days. Again, I didn't know it at the time, but yeah, it was 5 weeks and 5 days. If you look back on that live pregnancy test, that's how far along I am. I was at that point. And yeah, you go back, and I really do. I think about that week, and I think it was just really increase in urination, really. And so I took a test that was on a Sunday on December 10th, and the very next morning on the 11th, I called my doctor ASAP, first thing in the morning. And they have this thing where they ask you, do you want a same-day appointment? And of course I say yes. And then they go on to say, well, you might not get one. Like, why did you ask me? But I was like, yes, I want a same-day appointment. I would go to like any location. They have like hospital locations. They have different satellite facilities. I'm like, I will go anywhere, anytime. Like, I just want an appointment today. So, I got in, and it was really weird because let me tell you, this is my second pregnancy, and my first pregnancy was completely different. Like, I mean, this is a different office that I'm going to, but it's just so crazy how each pregnancy and like each office can be completely different. So anyways, with my first pregnancy back in 2013, they did a blood test, and I remember they did like a quantitative HCG, where they wanted to know how much HCG was in my blood. And then 2 days later, I had to get a repeat HCG test done to make sure it doubled, because I guess early in pregnancy it's supposed to double. So that's what my doctor did back in 2013 at a different office, and it was doubling, and they knew the pregnancy was progressing. And then he also scheduled me for an ultrasound because I do have PCOS, so I didn't know when my last period was. Kind of bad at that, my fault. But they wanted to make sure it wasn't an ectopic pregnancy. So again, this was my very first pregnancy 4 years ago. And yeah, I got all that done, and it seemed like that was like what was supposed to be done, right? So then I kind of felt better. Although when I first got and I found out for my first pregnancy, I was 5 weeks and 3 days. So I found out my 5th week both times. But when I got that very first scan in week 5, they seen the gestational sac, but they didn't see a fetal pole. Like, they didn't see a baby. So of course I freaked out. And then I remember the ultrasound tech was like, hold on. She went back and talked to the doctor, and they're like, oh no, everything's fine. See you later. Bye. I'm like, oh my God, is there a baby in there? Like, what happened? I didn't know. And, so anyways, to sum up that story, and everything ended up being fine, and I had my daughter. I was in my early 30s at the time, and everything seemed to go good for that pregnancy. Went to all my appointments. I do have a family history. Like, my sister has had 2 preemie babies, but like no one cared when I was telling them that during my first pregnancy. So I ended up having my daughter, my water broke at 33 and 6, and I had her at 34 and 0. She spent 10 days in the NICU. So now Now, because I'm past age 35 on this pregnancy, I'm considered ancient, I guess. And like everything is different. And they want to do all these different kinds of testing. Not only am I at risk because I had a preemie baby already, I'm old, I'm advanced maternal age because I'm in my late 30s. And I have chronic high blood pressure, which I actually developed during pregnancy with my first, and I just had it ever since. Never had it before that, though. So anyways, because of all these things, I am now, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm being seen by high risk maternal fetal medicine group. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long video. And again, I'm sorry this is just audio, but this is the first time I'm doing Facebook Live, so I hope this helps somebody. So anyways, I find out whenever I was 5 weeks and, what did I say, 5 weeks, 5 days, didn't know it at the time. Went to my first doctor's appointment at 5 weeks and 6 days. And on my first appointment, it was actually with a nurse practitioner. That's who they could get me in with, but it was a regular, reputable OB office. So I get in and, the nurse at the beginning gives me this book of like all these different things. I'm going to show you a little bit later on, like what's in this book. Like it's amazing how much information is in this book. But like things you can't eat, like you can't eat shark. Like I wasn't eating shark in the first place, but just things you can eat, things you can't eat, et cetera, et cetera. And then they, go over medical history, the father's and your medical history. And they say that the first appointment, it takes a while, but it seemed to be so rushed. I don't know if it was because when I went to, when I had my daughter, I started out at like a different hospital system, then I transferred. So even though I went to a different office, like they still had all my records in the system. So I don't know if that's why like the appointment was so much quicker than maybe like a first time mom appointment. But, they did confirm things with me. And, again, it was a nurse practitioner, and she felt my uterus, and she's like, oh, your uterus is really small. So, I have anxiety to begin with. And, of course I was like, oh my God, what does that mean? And then, you have a million more questions. And, she's like, well, if you're really early on, which I think you are, like, of course it's going to be like this anyways. So she did that, and then she did like an internal exam, like felt my uterus. Like she pushed on the top of my stomach, like went up in there. She did a swab or a scrape. To be honest, I cannot remember exactly what it is, but I do have records online as to what she tested for. So I'll put that in the description below. But she tested for whatever. She asked me, have you been bleeding at all? Just all the normal questions. I was like, nope, I have not had any bleeding at all. And she's like, okay, everything looks great. Oh, and let me tell you, the way that I found out, like, to confirm I was pregnant, it was not like my first pregnancy where they did a blood test and then they did a second one to see your HCG jumping up. It was a simple urine test. I took 3 pregnancy tests, like the live one that you see on YouTube. And then, well, actually, those were 2, and then I took another one. So I took 3 home tests, and they were all positive. And so when I went into this doctor's office, they just did like a pee test, like a dipstick pee test. I'm like, oh yeah, you're pregnant. Congratulations. And I'm like, it just seemed like, is that normal? Is that like what they do? I don't know. But they just did like a regular pee test, and like that was it. And I'm like, I had no idea what my due date was because they asked me when was my first day of my last period. I had no idea, again, because I have PCOS and my fault, but it was a surprise, this pregnancy, and I wasn't keeping track of like dates or anything. And they kind of just said, congratulations, we'll see you in 4 weeks. And I'm like, okay, like I had so many they asked me if I had any more questions, but just the overwhelmingness of it all, I just was like, no, I'll have questions as soon as I leave. And of course I did. I'm sure I pester them so bad. I mean, I don't care. Like, it's my baby. So anyways, so I have my appointment scheduled for 4 weeks later. And it was crazy because I would say about like right around 24 hours after that appointment. So that appointment was on a Monday. And again, at that point, I was 5 weeks and 6 days on that Monday. So exactly at 6 weeks on that Tuesday, I started bleeding. And not heavy bleeding, not severe cramping, because I know that that's emergency room stuff. It was just like slight pink on the toilet paper when I went pee. And like I wiped twice and it was gone. It was not heavy. But of course, I freaked out because I did not have this with my daughter at all. So I freaked out and called the doctor, and they're like, well, you know, are you having cramping? I'm like, yes, I'm having cramping. Like, it's not severe, but I'm having cramping. And they just kind of really didn't seem like it was a big deal or anything. And I'm like, okay, you know, hung up. And then like later that day, like when I went to the bathroom again, like I wiped and it was bright red blood with a teeny tiny little, like, I guess it was a clot. It looked like a clot. I mean, it was minuscule though. It was like, it wasn't even like a centimeter. Like it was super, super tiny. It was like a little speck, not even the size of my pinky, not even the size of half of my pinky. So it was like a teeny little white, red speck, like, and I don't know, it really scared me. Like I started crying, wiped 2 wipes, it was gone. You know, I was having cramping, but again, it wasn't severe. So of course I messaged the office. By this time it was after hours. So I messaged the office, and of course they don't get back to you till the next day. So then I called, I talked to a nurse, I told her, she's like, oh, any bleeding, you know, we got to get you in for an ultrasound, see what's going on. Because I thought she was just going to say, oh, everything's fine. Because the first appointment, which was like literally one day before, like there was no, you know, it seemed like there was no issue. So I got in for an ultrasound for the next day, and they were able to see the baby, but only doing a transvaginal. They were not able to see the baby, like just doing it on my stomach. So on that Wednesday, I was 6 weeks and 1 day. Because remember, 2 days before when I found out, I was 5 weeks and 6 days. Or wait, yeah, 5 weeks and 6 days. And then I would have been 6 weeks on that Tuesday when I started bleeding. And then, yeah, on that Wednesday, I was 6 weeks and 1 day is what I was measuring at. And and they were able to see cardiac activity, which is amazing. I did not think they were going to be able to like even see the baby, let alone see its little heart beating. I was not able to hear the heartbeat, but they were like, okay, we see the heartbeat. I believe it was what was the heartbeat? Oh, I can't remember. I have it written down. I want to say like 125, I think it was. Or why do I want to say 147? I think I want to say 147 because that's always what my daughter's was. But anyways, again, this was 6 weeks and 1 day. And I was scared, like, oh, do I have an ectopic? But they were able to say it was, see it was like an intrauterine, like everything looked good. And I was like, okay, like I didn't know why I was bleeding, but everything looked fine. And then I literally bled like my entire week 6 and the beginning of week 7. And it wasn't anything heavy, no severe cramping. It was always just like the slightest pink when I wiped on the toilet paper. And that was it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Still had to go to the bathroom like a lot, all during week 6. And so come to find out, and the office didn't tell me, and I guess this is their fault, is after they do that first internal exam, I guess your cervix is really enriched with blood, etc. And I'm a very sensitive person as it is, and they say after that first exam, a lot of times you could get spotting. And of course, you always got to check it out with your doctor just to make sure you're okay. But no one even mentioned that to me. Like, oh, you know, you had your exam yesterday and it could just be spotting. Like, and no one said that. So then anyways, this lady scheduled me for the ultrasound that I just told you about. And to be honest, I'm not glad I was bleeding, of course. But I am glad I got the ultrasound because it really gave me a peace of mind. And then, you know, of course, they determined the bleeding was nothing. So that was that. I realized everything was okay. And yeah, like I said, I bled literally all of week 6. And I mean, it's so scary because So anyways, they referred me to maternal fetal medicine because, again, I am in my late 30s. I have high blood pressure. I have PCOS, and then I had PPROM. I had my daughter, or my water broke. I was not in labor, just my water broke. I'll make another video about that too. But they sent me to the maternal fetal medicine team, like the high risk team. And man, that's depressing. It's not depressing because they sent me there. Like, I'll go wherever. Like, I'll do whatever medical things I got to do. This is my baby. But it's literally depressing because the regular office, OB office that I go to, nobody seemed to be worried about anything. And then I go to the maternal fetal medicine, and she's telling me that I'm probably going to get gestational diabetes. I did not have it with my first. That she would be surprised if I didn't get it. Because with my daughter, though, I did fail the 1 hour, Yes, I failed the 1 hour, but I passed the 3 hour glucose test. So, she's like, I'd be surprised if you didn't get diabetes. And I'm on, I was on metformin before I got pregnant. And I was not on metformin to get pregnant. I was just on it because I have PCOS and I'm really overweight to begin with. And my endocrinologist put me on that. And then the high-risk maternal fetal medicine team said, don't take it. And I thought, you're supposed to take it, but they told me don't take it anymore. So I'm not taking that. They did say I'm supposed to keep taking my high blood pressure medicine. Pregnancy brain, just regular blood pressure medicine. And, they gave me like all these different things that I'm supposed to be doing, which I'll go into, in another video. But one thing they said, which was really, really interesting, is they're like, because my cardiologist, okay, and I don't have problems with my heart, but I have this like thing with my heart. I have high blood pressure, and then I have sinus tachycardia, and I have like premature heartbeats, like premature atrial ventricular contractions, which drive me crazy. So I'm on this medicine called Coreg, and it actually really helps. And it's not, I think it's like a category C medicine. So, your doctors have to rule out if it's a benefit to keep you on it or put you on something else. In my case, I tried everything else and it didn't work. So they determined that it's like better for me to be on this medicine. So I'm on it, and the cardiologist told me, a good blood pressure is 120/70. But now that I'm pregnant, the high risk team was like, my blood pressure, and I'm still taking my medicine, right? But now my blood pressure is usually lower, I guess, in the first trimester. But for me, it's so weird. Like, I feel like I'm always like the exception to the rule. My blood pressure is like 140/80, and I'm still taking my medicine as directed. And like, it's higher, but the high risk team was like, well, unless it's 160/100, which in my head is insane. Like, that's crazy to be that high. Unless it's 160/100 or more, don't worry about it, is what they told me. They said, keep taking your medicine, but like, we're not going to worry about it, because if we control your blood pressure too much, then like blood flow to the baby can be diminished and all that. And I got to do more research on that. Like, to me, that sounds crazy, because I thought like if your blood pressure is like 120/70, like normal, I didn't think that was a problem. So today when I went into the doctor's, there was like 140s over like 90, or like, it's not a problem. I don't know how it's not a problem, but it's not a problem. So anyways, I guess that's like my 5 to 6 week update. I have definitely more updates, but I'll go through those as time goes on. But yeah, like I said, I found out at 5 weeks, 6 days. And then, so yeah, I brought you up to speed right until week 7. So stay tuned. Please subscribe if you have not already. It really helps me and my little one. She is 4. And we have 2 channels. This channel, which is a parent channel, I'm going to do all my pregnancy on this Playwright parent channel. And then we also have a kids only channel, which is only kids friendly videos. I did it because of my daughter. There was a lot of crazy things on YouTube, and YouTube Kids actually started after I started my Playwright Kids channel. So check out that one if you have little kids. It's literally 100% friendly kid videos. My little one, before YouTube Kids came around, like, she'd be watching like My Little Pony videos. But there are some people out there that will make Little Pony videos and they seem like they're good videos, but then they turn crazy. I think some people have too much time on their hands. You got to definitely monitor what your kids are watching. So that's why I created that channel. So, and my daughter was like 1 or 2 when I started that. So I would let her watch everything on that channel. It's all kid-friendly stuff. But not this one. This is the parent one. So anyways, again, thank you for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry this is audio only. I'm going to do a lot of audio updates, like when I'm just talking, but as far as like baby stuff and like things that I'm going to be getting, etc. Of course, I'll do videos and show those. It's just like the updates are going to be audio only, and I'll figure out a way to put like a pretty picture. This is the first time I'm doing live. I don't even know. So sorry this video is so long. I just seen it's over 20 minutes. But thanks for listening. If you're still listening, give the video a thumbs up. Please share, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out. And I will be making my, I think I'll make, because I made 5-6 week update. I'll make 7 and 8 week update next. Okay, thanks. Have a good day.